Real Madrid beat Liverpool to claim their 5th Champions League trophy in 8 years, with Carlo Ancelotti becoming the first manager to win the trophy 4 times. It caps off an incredible campaign by Real Madrid and a disappointing end to Liverpool's season, narrowly missing out on the Premier League and the Champions League. Well, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the main tactics of the Champions League final. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Football Meta, and if you want to see more football content, then please leave a like and subscribe for more. The two teams adopted a very contrasting approach in the final, with Liverpool sticking to their aggressive vertical football but struggling to break down Real Madrid's low defensive block and deadly counter-attacks. This is also reflected in the statistics from the 90 minutes. Let's take a look. Both teams lined up in their classic 4-3-3 formation, with no variation in lineups compared to their previous Champions League fixtures. The first thing to note is the two teams' average position throughout the match. Liverpool kept a much higher defensive line, often with Jordan Henderson pushing much further up on the right flank, with support from Trent Alexander-Arnold. On the other hand, Real Madrid kept a more standard shape throughout the match, with Benzema and Vinicius often staying further up to help the team with counterattacks, a big part of their game plan for the night. Possession was rather equal over the 90 minutes, but the XG shows how Liverpool had many more chances, with the biggest coming from Sadio Mane in the first half and Salah looking for the equalizer late on in the match. This is also a testament to Courtois' man of the match performance, pulling off a number of world-class stops to keep Liverpool at bay. Pressing intensity also clearly shows Liverpool's attempt at winning the ball back early, while Real Madrid had a much higher long pass share, looking to directly bypass Liverpool's press and look for gaps either side of Liverpool's fullbacks, who often pushed up on the flanks. These stats show how Liverpool may have had more opportunities, but after a shaky start, Real Madrid stuck to their game plan and never looked out of control for the remainder of the match and slowly started to frustrate Liverpool. With Real Madrid building up, Liverpool kept to their high press, with Mane and Salah covering the centre-backs, Diaz on Carvajal, while Trent would push up to cover Mendy. Trent would push much further up compared to Robertson, given mostly by Henderson being comfortable covering the space in behind, while also meaning Konate could move out wide to cover if necessary, with Liverpool often looking to keep Van Dijk as central as possible to cover Benzema. This meant Courtois would often go long to bypass Liverpool's front block, often looking to move it out wide, where Real Madrid would look to overload the flanks to disrupt Liverpool's central block. They did this mostly by having Kroos or Casemiro dropping between Liverpool's front three to collect the ball, with the other playing just in front of Liverpool's midfield, allowing Modric to pick up a position between the lines for a ball over the top. The majority of Real Madrid's attacks came from the right flank. Given this three-man triangle in the centre, it would allow Carvajal to push up on the right, with Valverde playing in the half space between Robertson and Van Dijk, with Benzema and Vinicius occupying Konate and Trent. With the ball moving into this position out wide, it meant Real Madrid could quickly get the upper hand on the flank. This happened on both flanks, but the true game plan from Real Madrid was to exploit this numerical advantage, force Liverpool to cover these spaces before eventually switching play to the other flank, either from left to right to find Valverde and Carvajal, or right to left, usually from much deeper, in an attempt to put Vinicius in a 1v1 against Trent, who'd often pushed up to support the attack. Now, in the first half, Liverpool were able to stop this from happening with a well-organised press, which led to Kroos or Modric looking for more time on the ball in the second half, often finding themselves dropping deep into the defensive line and completely vacating the centre of the pitch. This worked especially well on the right flank, given that it would leave Diaz in two minds on who to pick up. If he pressed Carvajal, then Modric could simply move forward into the centre, while if he pressed Modric, it meant Carvajal was free for a 2v1 on the right flank. And this is exactly how Real Madrid scored their goal. A throw-in from the left flank and Real rotate the ball onto the right. Modric drops deep into the defensive line and drags Robertson out of position, with Carvajal and Casemiro in close proximity, dragging Liverpool's midfield block out of position. From here, a quick ball forward and Real Madrid find themselves in a 3v3. When attacking the backline, Carvajal overlaps to ensure Van Dijk cannot immediately put pressure on Valverde, while Trent and Konate look to keep their line when moving back. With Liverpool constantly looking to play the offside trap, it means Valverde's cross was too quick for Trent to cover in time, with Vinicius being ready to finish off the move. For the remainder of the game, Real Madrid's game plan was to defend deep and hit Liverpool with deadly counters, with Benzema and Vinicius staying high to stretch the pitch as much as possible. However, Liverpool were able to nullify this threat for the majority of the match, and when regaining possession, Liverpool's game plan would also rely heavily on rotations on the flank. Real Madrid didn't press Liverpool too intensely, and instead opted for a 4-4-2 defensive block with Modric joining Benzema. Liverpool's first pass would look to be into Fabinho, just in front of Real Madrid's midfield. While Thiago would play more defensively, Henderson found himself pushing up on the right much more frequently in the half space, with Salah holding the width. And this is where the majority of Liverpool's attacks came from throughout the 90 minutes. Mane started as the centre forward, but would often find himself acting as a false 9 and dropping into the midfield, freeing up space for Henderson to push up. With the ball moving out wide, Salah could attempt a 1v1 against Mendy, but would also have support from Trent moving into the half space and Henderson on the edge of the box. In fact, Henderson from this position was one of Liverpool's main attempts at getting the ball into the box, as he would receive the ball and play it directly into the box, looking for a blindside run of Diaz onto the second post. However, Real Madrid were able to nullify this threat consistently. With Liverpool pushing further and further up, Salah, Mane and Diaz moved more centrally and freed up the flanks for the fullbacks. Liverpool wanted to play through Real Madrid's lines into this central area, before moving it out wide into Diaz and Salah. But Real Madrid countered this in an extremely clever way. Rather than applying pressure to Fabinho and Thiago, Real Madrid allowed them to hold the ball in this position, and prioritized closing off these spaces out wide, comfortable with the idea that Fabinho and Thiago wouldn't attempt to shoot from this far out, and that Mane dropping deep wouldn't disrupt the defensive block. Overall, it worked for the majority of the match. However, Liverpool was still able to create some big chances, but were denied by an incredible performance by Courtois. It was a thrilling final to watch, but ultimately Real Madrid had too much experience for Liverpool when it mattered, and walked away with their 14th Champions League trophy, twice as many as the next best team in Europe. And now, let me know what you think. What did you make of the final and what players did you enjoy watching? Let me know in the comments down below, along with any suggestions for future videos. As always, if you enjoyed this content, then please let me know by leaving a like and subscribing for more. Thanks for watching.